Girls of Reddit, did you ever have a guy that you wished you said yes to when he asked you out? What is the story? In 4th grade, a boy passed me a note asking me whether I'd be his girlfriend. Circle yes or no. I was caught off guard, but my friend sitting next to me wasn't. I believe she said do, rip it up, and I did. He was a nice kid. I should have circled yes, and I really shouldn't have ripped it up. That was very rude of me. Sorry, Jeremy. That would tear any person's heart apart. I hope Jeremy stayed strong. It was freshman year of college. I made eye contact with some random guy from across the quad. He walked over, sat next to me, and we had a short conversation. He invited me to his room before my friends showed up and dragged me away. Turned out we lived in the same building. I went to his room and we talked and joked as though we'd known each other our entire lives. And constantly, this kick-ass engineer student was complimenting me, the mediocre biology kid, on how smart I was. He and I ran into each other several times, and there was always a palpable tension between us. But I was in a long-distance relationship at the time and I never went for it. I turned down the only guy to ever give me butterflies in my stomach and make me smile like an idiot. In college there was a guy who asked me out who was weird and annoying, so I said no. Next year he came back hot as duck. Turns out he spent all summer working out. I regretted it until I invited him over one night and he stole my PS3 and my Yoda backpack. Edit, I got the Yoda backpack back. He was roommates with a friend of mine. He actually wore the backpack around the next day and everyone knew it was mine. Sad face. I feel like the worst part was the aftermath. I invited him over to hang out and once I was reminded of his weirdness I sent him on his way. Then the next day he told everyone we hooked up and wore the backpack as proof. I was known as the campus mutt, and he sold the PS3 and took out my roommate on a date. That was a rough week. I said no to a perfectly lovely guy who was just my type once because I was feeling a bit down and not like I could deal with the world of romance. I mentioned this to my best friend in passing one day and it transpired that they knew each other. My best friend managed to dig me out of my shell enough to at least go out for a quick drink with him. 2 years later I walked down the aisle towards him. We are now fulfilling a lifelong dream of mine by living in another country together and have a life full of love and adventure planned. Obviously I'd never have known this to regret it, but it's incredible to think how different my life would be if I'd stuck with my original no. I hate this story. It has a happy ending. Enjoy my upvote. One time I said no because I was too busy with my exams. I had my head buried in my books when he asked me. The timing was all wrong. I regret saying no. Damn, that sucks. You should have told him yes as soon as exams are over. Shitty mental health. Don't feel like I could have a healthy relationship because of it. Back in my teens my self-esteem was so low it was easier to believe otherwise really nice guys were trying to make fun of me rather than that they were actually interested. Some of them were guys I had crushes on for years. Yay, sad face. I'm a dude, and in my high school years I had such low self-esteem and so much how the hell do I even show a girl I'm interested? That I probably missed signs of interest many times. So you're not alone. I confirmed this about a year ago when I came home from college and saw a bunch of old friends and girls I was interested in. I didn't think any of them were into me then. After talking with them a while I found out about all the opportunities I had missed. I felt like a complete dumbass for missing the signs. Not really regretting, but I wish I had been someone else that could have given him a chance. He was all shy and cute and seemed like a genuinely good person. It was in the train, but I was/am in love with somebody else. Had a guy ask me out in high school. Really fun guy, very nice, funny, athletic, smart, and good looking. I turned him down because I knew he had already and I wasn't ready to have sex at that time. It wasn't about his morals. I did desperately want to date him, but I just felt like I would never be able to make him happy, and I was embarrassed that I hadn't had sex. A few years later in college I ran into him when I was home on break. He's still the perfect guy, hasn't changed a bit. I screwed the pooch on that one. I have never said no to a guy that asked me out in a polite and respectful way. That might be overly polite of you. Have an Amazon gift card as my way of being overly polite to you. Check your PMs for the code. It's a great time of year to be giving, and my year just keeps getting better, so why not spread some happiness? Well, aren't you just the sweetest ever? I'm all aflutter. Is anyone else reading all these posts hoping to find one about yourself? Every single person in this thread, yes. I did this event at the Queen Mary and could not stop staring at this guy. I just thought he was the most gorgeous thing on the planet. My event coordinator noticed and ended up bringing him over the last night when they had a ball. We walked around the deck, and when I told him how I had slipped and almost fell, he's like swooped me into a dip and said like this. He tried to teach me how to dance, which he was great at, told me about how he traveled and loved school and all the same things as me. It was the best / most romantic night of my life. I had to go back to my group and he stopped me on the stairs to kiss me and said, this is the last chance I'm going to have to do this. What do you want me to do? I told him I needed him to keep walking because at the time I was in an on again off again relationship with a total scumbag. I think about him all the time and beat myself up a lot for passing on someone so great for someone who didn't care about me. If I could redo one thing in my life, it'd be that night. Damn it. Edit. I know I'm a complete dumbass. He was unreal in how wonderful he was. Yes, I fully admit to being that girl who picked the douche, but it was my first relationship and lesson was definitely learned. After stewing on this and beating myself up, I think I'm going to try to find him. He has a pretty uncommon name luckily. Last I heard he had a girlfriend, but we'll see. Edit 2. Contact has been made. I don't know what to do with myself now, haha. A ball, swooning, dancing, traveling stories, and what could have been the most beautiful first kiss ever. You turned down a Disney prince. 2 guys come to mind. Guy 1 was so sweet, and I did like him, but he was going too fast for my liking, saying I love you too soon, etc. He somehow lost heart in pursuing a relationship with me when I told him to slow down as it was making me uncomfortable. We rekindled our thing a few years later, but it wasn't quite the same, and it didn't amount to anything serious. He's now in a long distance relationship with a beautiful girl. From what I can see from the outside of their relationship, he's a very sweet and devoted boyfriend. I sometimes think I missed out. Guy 2 was someone I really liked, but he was always talking to / about other girls, so I didn't think he liked me that much. One day, he asked if I'll go out with him, but it was set up to seem like a joke, so I said no. That's ridiculous. Because I didn't want to appear too eager and vulnerable. I found out later that he was serious, but he wanted to seem casual. This happened in high school, hence all these stupid games. He had moved on to other girls by the time I found out, and went into a relationship with this girl. She was his first girlfriend. When they broke up, it devastated him. Then sometime after, we got together. I was his rebound, so it was doomed from the start as he wasn't over her. I thought that if I had said yes to him when he asked me the first time, I would have been his first, and he would have loved me that much. Hence all these stupid games. Oh ho ho ho. They can go well into adulthood. Till that, girls will still say no to being asked out, even if they like you and are available. So remember, no matter how much you think she likes you, asking her out is still just like starting a hardest difficulty game of Minesweeper on the smallest map. I worked for several years with Harry. We had a lot of fun at work, and also went out surfing, beach days, mutual friend stuff together too. Only gradually did I realize I was developing genuine feelings for him. I kept all this to myself, of course. He seemed way out of my league and I didn't want to make our work relationship awkward. Once he asked me if I'd go shopping with him to find some shoes. We went to the mall, found some kicks, and then he asked me if I wanted lunch. I said nah, I wanted to work out before work, so see ya later. Didn't understand he was maybe asking me to lunch as a date until much later. Idiot. We continued to work together and hang as friends though, and we both dated other people. Eventually he left the job to travel and finish school, but still came by to hang out. One night we were all drinking, and we went out back to share a smoke. We were pretty drunk, and I was sitting on this raised box thing, and he stood in front of me and placed his hands on my knees, looked into my eyes and said tinfoil heartapet, I love you. I've never been able to say this before. I love you. I've loved you a long time. And I said, okay. Handed him the smoke and went back inside. I didn't know how to reply. I had inklings that he had feelings for me, but we never came out and said it. I had a boyfriend at the time and wouldn't cheat, so here I am. Harry, if you read this, I love you too. TL. Drive. Worked 4 years with my possible soulmate. He confessed his love and I choked like a fool. Even I got hurt just by reading this. Poor guy. Got any similar examples? Leave it in the comments below.